Next up, it's time for a look at the big stories in the business world. And for that, Kate Moody joins me here on set. And you're starting off with the on again, off again courtship between LVMH and Tiffany.
Yeah, that possible merger, Charlie, could be back on the cards as a number of media outlets say the two sides have indeed resumed talks. Now, the French luxury group called off the takeover back in September, citing in part the American jeweler's dismal performance during the pandemic, as well as political pressure over transatlantic tariffs. Legal cases have ensued on both sides, but now reports suggest that they've relaunched negotiations for a price that would come in well below the $16 billion, which was initially agreed upon. The European Commission just gave the green light to that initial deal earlier this week. Tiffany shares rose about 5% in New York. LVMH was down slightly at the close in Paris. Well, that brings us to a check of the day's trading action. Wall Street has closed mixed. The tech-heavy Nasdaq managing some gains. Tech companies are set to be in the spotlight on Wednesday as executives from Google, Facebook, and Twitter are going to be answering questions from a Senate committee about whether they should be held accountable for false or misleading content posted by their users. The Dow Jones lost around 200 points, down about 0.8%, coming off of its worst session since early September. Earlier, the major European indices closed lower as the number of coronavirus cases across the continent continues to rise. The CAC 40 losing nearly 2 percentage points here in Paris. TikTok has landed a deal with Canadian shopping platform Shopify, which will allow stores to create video ads that drive viewers directly to their websites. The partnership is a major advance for the Chinese app, which is still facing scrutiny from the U.S. government. Talks with Oracle and Walmart to take over its U.S. operations appear to have stalled in recent weeks, but the step into e-commerce could make TikTok even more attractive. Here in France, the number of people out of work fell sharply in the 3 months to the end of September. The figures for people registered as fully unemployed fell by 11.5% after a record jump in the previous 3 months. But the jobless numbers are still almost 10% higher than they were in the same period last year. Meanwhile, the French government is considering further measures to limit the spread of the coronavirus, and it's doubling down on its calls for employers to encourage working from home as much as possible.
Ce qu'on constate dans toutes les entreprises qui appliquent ce protocole, c'est qu'il n'y a pas de chaîne de contamination. Donc c'est un protocole qui est efficace, même si on est bien protégé dans son entreprise. C'est important dans le contexte actuel de l'épidémie d'éviter les déplacements, d'éviter aussi les contacts qu'on peut avoir en marge de son travail. Donc je pense que c'est important d'aller à fond sur le télétravail pour les postes qui peuvent être télétravaillés.
It was a nightmare scenario for the owners of gyms and sports centers in Paris when the French government temporarily shut them down about a month ago to help slow the spread of the coronavirus. But the closures have also been an opportunity for them to explore new ways of securing their customer base, as Joanna Citrick and Claire Pecalan explain.
Margot now takes yoga classes in her living room.
On est attiré par le canapé, on est attiré par, moi en l'occurrence, le piano, mon travail, etc. Donc il me tarde que les salles réouvrent.
With Paris on high alert for COVID-19, Margot's gym has had to temporarily close its doors. But it learned to adapt while France was on lockdown earlier in the year with live and on-demand training videos.
C'est important pour garder vraiment ce lien avec nos clients les plus engagés, les plus fréquentants. Le digital, s'il est bien utilisé, peut être un vrai complément pour engager encore plus ses clients.
But the online classes far from make up for the gym's losses while it's closed. When it fully reopens, it'll offer membership plans that combine online and in-person classes. Not all sports businesses, though, have had to worry about closing their facilities. Based in an office, Station F, a start-up hub in Paris, La Sèche has been offering online-only classes since 2017.
Pendant le confinement, on a connu un pic de vente. On a vraiment essayé d'adapter notre offre à ce moment-là. Et après, c'est vrai qu'il y a une tendance à la hausse qui s'est manifestée ces derniers mois et surtout à la rentrée.
With community challenges, eating programs and healthy recipes, La Sèche is looking for new ways to engage with its customers and ensure they stick around when gyms and sports centres eventually reopen.
Well, love them or hate them, Charlie, I think that those online gym classes are here to stay for a few more months at least here in Paris.
One of the few sectors actually booming under the COVID-19 economy. Kate Moody, thank you so much for that business update.